distinguished guests on the dais and off the dais, friends from the industry, ladies and gentlemen. It's indeed an honor and privilege to be part of this august gathering today. Normally we are on the other side of the gamut, being the refiner, and I was thinking of talking about the petrochemical today, but when I came here and I interacted and I get to know that we are having we are a good chemical consumer. So this is a gathering wherein, whether it's the water treatment, whether it's the corrosion treatment, everywhere we require a lot of chemical in all our refineries, and definitely a lot of takeaway from this gathering, from this group. For me, this particular forum is an important enabler of engagement between business leader, disruptor, innovator, and academia, Dr. Pillai, which facilitate conversation, collaboration, and connection on every aspect of entire chemical value chain. This year's theme, Transforming India into Global Manufacturing Hub, perfectly captures the spirit of gathering. Here is a dynamic backdrop of India, a nation on the cusp of sustainable growth, is shaping up as global manufacturing hub. As we talk about chemical and petrochemical, role of oil and gas industry becomes a very crucial one. We are the provider of both feed and energy to the industry. As a representative from oil and gas industry, let me share industry perspective. As per International Energy Agency's latest report, global energy landscape is going through the major metamorphosis. In fact, during COP26, the industry was almost written off, and it had almost taken over everything by the alternate energy. But subsequently, people realized that the downstream industry is not yet ready. It will take some time, and now it has come out amply clear that the transition is inevitable, but it is going to take its own sweet time. And for a country like India, it is all the more relevant to have our fossil fuel availability. So, but at the same time, we are having the multiple challenges for our own industry in the form of alternate energy, biofuel, natural gas. These are some challenges for the Indian refining industry. As per the latest report from the various sectors, it has come out that the peak of the industry is expected sometimes in the late 20s. But the good news for us is that in India it is going to be somewhere in the late 30s. So emerging economies in Asia, particularly China and India, they are accounting for the global demand growth. If we talk about refinery, today our typical capacity is 250 plus million metric ton per annum, and we are expecting it to reach around 400 plus million metric ton per annum by 2047. And no guess, India will be one of the top 5 refining hub of the world, and both refining and petrochemical hub of the world. So, because one side where inefficient old refineries are closing down, in India still we are talking about new refinery with higher petrochemical intensity, much more energy efficient with the use of green energy. Coming to petchem, India is one of the least consumer of the petchem as on today. We know our number is in the range of 10 to 12, while the world average is somewhere 38 kg. But the good news is that we are on the path where this industry is going to grow, and being our own consumer, it gives us a lot of advantage. Why the industry is going to grow in a very big way in a time to come? Few reasons are rising disposable income, lot of urbanization and semi-urbanization, shift in the consumer preference to healthier and environmentally friendly option. I remember the last time when in one of the such forum when I was saying, I was asked question back, you're telling that petrochemical is a environmentally friendly option. How can you say that? And my answer to that question was that, what are the alternative? When you look the alternative in the form of, say, paper or glass or even metal, you can say that, you know, definitely compared to them, it is far more environmentally friendly option. The challenge is that how do you handle the wastage? And for that also in that field, many work is happening. Next is that lot of emphasis is giving on the Atmanirbharta. The government wants that we should be more and more dependent on our own. Definitely the labor cost gives us the competitive advantage. There is a China plus policy for the global companies. And last but not the least, especially for the refining companies, that where energy transition, we know it is going to happen. So somewhere we are safeguarding ourselves that tomorrow if energy transition will be happening in a big way, this will be you know, the stream from the refinery can go into the petrochemical. With all these things, we see a big bright spot for petrochemical in the time to come. Some time back, we heard that in order to cater all the demand of the country, we require one ethylene cracker per year for 10 years. And 2 years back when this point was discussed and we were thinking how it is possible. But if you see, every year we are getting almost one cracker. Last year BPCL announced, this year GAIL has announced, and we know that many plants are in the pipeline in the time to come. So definitely it is going to happen in a big way in country. So as per the latest commitment from the oil industry, by 2030, when the refining capacity is reaching 310, from 250 million metric ton to 310 million metric ton, today the contribution of petrochemical from oil industry, which is approximately 29 million metric ton per annum, it is likely to touch 46 million metric ton per annum. Niche petrochemical is another area. We know that our contribution in the country is not very significant, but I'm very pleased to announce that BPCL was the leading company when way back in 2016 we had taken decision we'll foray into niche petrochemical, and we had set up one big facility in our Kochi refinery and propylene derivative petrochemical project, and in 2021 it became functional, and it is the biggest acrylic acid plant along with oxo alcohol and the acrylate plant at Kochi refinery. Coming to theme of our session, let me share the challenges which we are facing as an industry, and first and foremost is the feedstock. Getting the advantageous feedstock is really a mega challenge. If you see a country like UAE or Saudi, if I had to give you a number, the cost of say C2 carbon acetylene grade, if I have to say the cost comparison, for UAE the cost comes out to be $1.2 per MMBTU, for Saudi it is 1.8, and for India it is in the range of $10 to $12 per MMBTU. You can imagine that however cheap labor cost is there, however cheap is the power is there, but you can't compete. So this is the first and foremost challenge for Indian petrochemical manufacturer. Second is again the cost of capital. Again for India, the typical cost is in the range of 8 to 9%, while in case of Japan it is less than 1%, in China it is in the range of 4 to 5%. So that's a big challenge for petrochemical industry. Third is land. We know that these type of mega plant require huge land, and today getting a land is a big challenge. And there only comes the support from the state, and the state which want these type of facility, they are too generous in offering the land, because land and water are the two intensive utility which are required. So that is how that we are able to set up a big facility. Last key challenge for the industry is that free trade agreement. And we know that we have with Singapore, South Korea, Japan, and UAE. And definitely it is non-level playing field, especially for the petchem feedstock, rich region which are having excessive production. But having said that, the same question was there once upon a time for refining industry, and we could overcome. And here too, with the necessary intervention through the government policy, we will be overcoming these challenges too. Positive news is that high level of discussion for sustenance and commercial viability are on, and hope to get better result in near future. These were the few updates I wanted to share with this August gathering. I'm told there are about 7 technical leadership panel deliberating on wide range of topic, covering almost the whole spectrum of business, and that's really great. And this summit will bring lot of new aspects, and I'm sure that it will be beneficial for the industry. Once again, thank you very much, and best wishes for the summit.